Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challengers League Wildcard versus Team Liquid Challengers. Man, that looked clinical coming out of TLC. They had some pretty good control over the Rift on the early, at the early stages. It was pretty much a lot of objective control coming through. That being said, though, credit over to Wildcard because they were able to continuously get gold leads throughout that game. Josh, how are we feeling?
Honestly, I really loved watching this coming out from Wildcard, right? Because they did such a good job at playing to their win condition for, I would say, 90% of the game. And then it was Team Liquid who have been so good at playing these fluid setups, right? Bradley charging into a couple of these fights, making sure that the rest of his team is not under fire, really setting Team Liquid apart in ways that not a lot of other teams have the control to actually make happen. Even though not all these fights went over the way of Team Liquid, it was still the process by which you need to think in order to win these games.
Gotta give some credit to Wildcard right here. They were able to still steal away. That sounds so weird to say back-to-back. That Baron buff, but it just wasn't enough. This is a very, very coordinated team, Alex.
It was, and that's the thing. That any other team, I think, in Challengers League falls to what Wildcard did in this game. And that's why it's one of those tragic scenarios, because Wildcard did a great job in most cases. It's just that one mistake, and that's what's been the power for Team Liquid Challengers, is they utilize a lot of the power that they have, one as a team, but also to punish those mistakes. Like right here, I think Donbray not being with the team, not getting that poke initially from both Lens and Taligo before looking for Arrow, meant that they just didn't have the fight afterwards. They couldn't really follow up Donbray, so he gets bursted down, and then how do you peel back for Lens?
Yeah.
I'm starting to believe that Bradley might be the law here because every time he sees Wildcard, every time one of these clips begin, it's just him running at Wildcard saying, "Stop! You violated the law!" and pretty much sending them all to the respawn
That game was
jail.
definitely, I'll agree
No
with you.
KO players in this game.
But that game was definitely kind of like that, right? Zamuda was causing a lot more chaos, so I'll forfeit the argument for game one. But mostly, we see Bradley play a lot more chaotically. But I do like your analogy there, Eric. Like, Bradley really was the law. He's like, stop right there! And just chasing him down every single time.
Yeah. I also think it's crazy. If you look at the KDA for that game, 12-3 were the kills.
And yet it was really close.
Yeah, and the game was very, very close until the end, right? You see where the gold goes off the cliff over here for Team Liquid.
All right, game number one now in the books. We're going to move on to our Rally Cry halftime show. This one you normally know as Tic Tac Trivia. It's time for my edition of it, though. It is the super heavyweight Tic Tac Trivia. Yes, that's me right in the center. I wanted to make sure we still had that.
Are you calling yourself free?
Wait,
no, I'm not free. I do have a question.
We have trivia about you?
No, it's not trivia about me. It's about trivia about what I
you
want to talk about. We got to get to the game, Alex. So shut that face and get ready to answer some questions.
You're in the middle, so I want to guess you. I want to guess.
Josh, you go first. Alex lost his privilege.
I want Zamudo. I love the photo you have set up for him.
All right. My first question is, Josh, you want to be X's or O's? This is an important question.
Let's be X's.
All right, you're going to be X's.
All
right.
Squares?
Or nope. The other one's a no. Here it comes. Zamudo had boot camped on the Korean ladder.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know his peak rank when he went out there?
Ooh, are you looking for an LP number?
No.
Okay,
No.
I'll tell you that.
I'm pretty sure he only made Grandmaster.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct.
Nice.
Did only get Grandmaster. You said you wanted X, right?
Yeah.
You want an X.
Okay.
Let's go. That is pretty good, though.
For Zamudo.
And I want square.
There you go. There you go. Instead of an X, we have a Lil Nas X.
All right. That's solid. That's solid.
All right.
I really
Alex.
like how every single one of our shows, this split, has been taking something that Steve has done before and then making it better.
So I want to guess you, Eric. I want to guess the center.
All right. Center one. These two teams faced off in spring playoffs, but what round of the playoffs did they do battle?
Ooh.
Round one.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, it was round
Got
one.
another
It was
winner.
8-9. It was 8-9.
Nice, nice. Now you get to put down your Millie O into the center square.
I like it.
Nice. Perfectly
All
cursed.
right. Two back to back. What do you got? The center square is now taken, Josh.
All right, let's go Kim Down. I think I might know more trivia about Kim Down than anybody else.
All right. Kim Down throughout his career has played a lot of Nautilus.
Yeah.
But what about off the Rift? What instrument does Kim Down play?
Oh crap. What instrument does Kim Down play? Oh, I'm pretty sure it's a woodwind. I think it was clarinet.
Alex, you want to steal?
I'm just gonna go with trumpet. You know, I'm just vibing with it.
Double fails. The answer was classical guitar.
Oh,
I would have never gotten
not know that.
so,
Yeah. I had an interview with him, and he did speak about that, and I was just like, "Calm down. We are brothers now."
brothers.
All
All
right,
right, all right.
Alex, you're next.
Give me Saligo.
Damn, the
Oligo.
strategic answer.
Yeah.
Man has become journeyed into space, and he's managed to find himself an Academy trophy at some point. What split did he win it in?
Oh, what
What
split?
split? I was hoping you were gonna say what team. 'Cause I know what
Yeah.
team.
Team's easy. Team's easy, bro.
What
I
team?
believe it was
What-
2019.
I mean, the hint there is the fact that I said Academy, not Proving Grounds, not
but it's
NACL.
like, 2019. I believe it was summer 2019.
Ding, ding, ding.
There you go.
Boom! I
There we
had to
go.
I had to dredge the inner machinations of my mind just to figure that one out.
Here we go. We get another Milio down.
Yeah, it's definitely a throwback. That was with 100 Thieves.
Yeah, it was. That's
Ooh.
like that's why I'm like I really had to think back. I'm like, all right, 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
What
Do you
splits
remember that
those?
roster, by the way? That was Someday, Anda, Prismal, and Stun. There's some loaded talent on that roster.
That was really good. That was some of the best that Prismal had ever looked as well.
Yes.
Let's go. We got to try and stop up something. Let's get Ian APA Stearns.
Okay.
APA. Right. 2019, APA would play on a team called Lucky Esports. Two of those players are currently in LCS. Name one of them.
Lucky Esports. Wow. I don't remember that team. Currently in LCS.
Yes.
I'm going to guess Dokla.
And wrong, Alex. You got a chance to
I don't even
steal.
remember who was on that team.
I'm trying to think who is in the LCS right now that I can guess. I'm torn between
That's a tough one. Yeah.
Chime and Kenvi. No. Yeah. No. Kenvi.
Ding, ding, ding.
There you go.
Literally, that was a stab in the dark. Let's go.
Hold on, I gotta find my Milio again.
Oh no.
I'm running out of Milios. Wait, that was
Milio.
APA, right?
Yeah, APA.
Uh-oh!
Woo!
Mad Magical, you are victorious.
That was the
Congratulations.
luckiest guess too, because I was
Yeah.
that close to guessing Chime.
I
like-
was
I was about
Chime
to
was
say-
not on the team.
He wasn't. Okay, so that was literally 50-50.
The other was Tomo.
Yeah.
Tomo, I would have never guessed Tomo.
Another member on that team is also Philip. Was on that roster as well.
Ah, Philip. That's
So
a good
was
one.
according to the internet, scooped and Ugandan royalty.
Trevor.
Trevor, yep.
All right.
All right, let's speed run a few of our remaining ones. First
All
one,
right.
Arrow. Name every LCS org Arrow has been on. There's three. There's your hint.
Immortals.
Outside of Team Liquid, there's three.
Okay.
Immortals?
Immortals. So Immortals is one.
They were old ones, right? Aren't
Yeah.
the other two no longer LCS?
The other two are no
Echo
longer LCS.
Fox and
Yeah.
Phoenix one.
You agree with that, Josh?
I definitely agree with Echo Fox. Phoenix One feels right.
Phoenix 1 is correct. Immortals is correct. Echo Fox is not. It was
It's not?
Optic. He was on there with
Optic.
Dokla.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
He was playing with Dokla at the time, right?
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
correctly?
Playing with
Yeah,
Dokla.
all
That was
those
Dokla's
years
first
ago.
run.
All right.
All right. We got time for another one. Okay. It's well known between us that Bradley used to play mid prior to Team Liquid.
Yep.
What was his most played champion in that role?
Most played.
I know
Syndra?
a character I remember him most for in the mid lane.
Yeah,
What was
I remember him most for Gwen, but
All right.
I'm gonna go with Syndra. I'm gonna go
Syndra?
with Syndra. Yeah.
Both of you, unfortunately, are wrong. It was Azir. Played 37 recorded games on
That
it.
was my second one.
He also averaged 6 kills a game on his year.
Wow.
So that's some pretty good competence right there. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. I'll just throw out the other ones real quick. Kill's been active on Khan Kindred. What was his most played champion in the regular season last split? It was Maokai at 9 games. Lens spent a lot of time. Hunter Thieves next. AoE Ginger Turmeric, well known. He spent a short 2-game stint on Team Fish Taco in their last round robin back against Full Spectrum of the UPL. That is going.
I would not have gotten that one.
I would not have gotten that one either. Never would have gotten that one.
So I am now hearing that the draft for the next game is ready. So I will delay this no longer. Alex, take it away.
All right, I shall take it from you. It is now mine. I'm gonna share it with
It's
you, Josh.
ours.
I'm gonna
Okay,
share
there
it with
you go,
you.
there you go.
So you're a part of
Thank
this
you.
journey with me as we get into game 2 here between Team Liquid Challengers and Wildcard Challengers. And I've just realized I left my notebook on the ground, so I'm picking that up.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, it is worth noting now that Team Liquid has guaranteed that they will retain sole possession of first place for at least another day, having been 2 games ahead of FlyQuest Challengers and Wildcard at the beginning of the day. And it looks like FlyQuest did win 1 game, but it looks like they also dropped 1. So now Team Liquid will be 2 games ahead of anybody else, even if they drop this one, right? Because Wildcard will still be 2 games behind. And so, when you start looking at it, Team Liquid taking away a lot of things that Keel has been known to play, and with the Ivern ban coming through as well, stifling a lot of some of the priority and invades that Keel has been known for.
I wonder if we're going to get the 3 for 3 here on jungle bans, that Maokai that Eric was just talking about. The most played in spring has also been something that has carried over here to summer. We've been seeing a lot of that from Keel because I feel like similar to how Ivern is, it provides a lot of control and it slows down the pace of the game a lot, which is exactly what Wildcard like to do. And banning away that Vi to deny maybe accelerating the game early has left open the Static Shiv LeBlanc.
Yeah, and Static Shift LeBlanc is really oppressive against a lot of the things that Sligo likes to play, right? The Syndras, the Aries, anything in the mid lane, even like the Orianna can really struggle against this champion because so many of them are relying upon scaling to try and control more of the game later. But LeBlanc just leaves the lane, is like, nice, thank you, I'm going to auto-attack this wave and I will see you in 30 seconds. But now, it is going to be looking like Wildcard going to be going for Keel's most played in spring, going to be grabbing the Maokai, and also the Jace coming through. We know that Sligo has more games on this so far than Zamudo, but it creates a ton of pressure wherever it is on the map, just because you have the point-and-click crowd control coming through from the jungler.
I also do like it, having this Jace into the LeBlanc early into the game, because you actually have a lot of power on LeBlanc early. Anytime she tries to distortion in, you can jump on her, do a lot of damage before she even has that window to jump back. So it is a nice pickup here for Sligo. But then look at what Team Liquid Challengers have drafted for themselves. That is a lot of wombo combo there. You couldn't ask for anything better than a Wukong Rel combo.
That's going to be a lot of damage coming through, and we have seen that Mirror. This was his best champion in spring as well. Something he has showcased a lot of potential on coming through, and also a character that can just brawl it out whenever they run into the jungle. But I mean, we were saying this before. This is one of the big tests that we were having for their opponents last time around earlier in the day. Is can NXI play the cow? Donbray can. Kim Down, a relatively young player, has shown a lot of play on the Alistar as well, but now really needs to try and find some smart engage. You can't just go directly in because that's a perfect opportunity for Donbray to just knock you away.
Yep, exactly. Just anytime you try to go for that in, headbutt away, be like, all right, you're out of here. Not even going to deal with you. And so I do like that angle here from Wildcard. It's also kind of a Wildcard classic too, back with Duo King, now with Donbray, still carrying over similar styles that we keep talking about. I feel like that is like the whole identity with Wildcard. Doesn't matter if you plug and play whatever players, they still have that playbook that they always go back to. And here into the second part of the bans, they're really trying to get rid of some of those weak side top laners from Bradley that might be a little bit annoying for them to deal with when it comes to the front to back.
And also Zamudo, right, with the Malphite ban coming through. The last time I saw Bradley's Malphite, I was not particularly impressed. The last time I saw Zamudo's Malphite, I was like, damn, this guy is good at this character. The way that he was able to navigate a lot of those fights, but as the Olaf ban comes through as well, we know that we're going to be forcing Bradley onto some kind of blind pick, as Wildcard will be picking up their AD carry and then waiting to see whether they want to send the Jace top lane for Zamudo or in the mid lane here for Sligo. And the only question is, what does Team Liquid want to try and protect for Bradley? He's got a lot of different champions he can play, but it looks like we might be setting up for a very straightforward Cassante pick.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that is what it's going to be here. Zamudo can grab that. Bradley can grab that. The Gragas is also open. We know Zamudo likes to play that Gragas into Cassante. So it could be that angle. Grab onto your ADC first. Have a lot of that wave clear with Static Shiv. And then hold on to that counter pick where you go, hey,
Well, let's wait. Let's wait and see, right? Because it is something where we have a lot of opportunities. And one of the things that VAR struggles with is being very vulnerable to all-ins. And both those characters do that. We saw the answer from King earlier was Tristana. Ezreal can still do that, actually, right? The amount of pressure you put out in the lane is still a lot.
But Draven. It's Arrow Draven.
Fair.
I always just get excited when I see that. But like you said, the Ezreal does have a lot of skirmish capabilities. Also can abuse Static Shiv, can get the wave clear. Also, it's Ezreal. It's funny. My favorite meme about the whole Static Shiv meta was, it was the Marge Simpson one where it's like, no, Ezreal, stop. It's like, but I didn't do anything. It's like, oh, I'm just so used to you breaking the meta and breaking an item.
I haven't seen that one, but yeah, that makes sense, right? Anything that has like a long-range auto attack application has always been problematic with the Ezreal, but now it is going to be the Bradley grabbing the Renekton up here in the top lane, and it makes a lot of sense with the Malphite, right? Even though FakeGod was able to beat up Zamudo in the laning phase rather effectively, it still ended up losing the game. And so Team Liquid, they have a lot of tools to be very aggressive with their dive. But I still like the draft coming out from Wildcard, right? You have the Alistar, you have the Maokai to create a ton of space, and Team Liquid are once again putting the onus of execution on themselves. They're the ones who need to be very aggressive to make things happen. The Poppy, once again, is putting more and more pressure on Team Liquid to be inventive with the way that they play these fights. And they have showcased that they can do that. But it's tough. It's tough, Alex.
I love this Poppy into this draft of Team Liquid Challengers. Every single one of them has a jump ability, a dash, and Poppy's just like, all right, steadfast presence, come at me. Come at me. Oh, you're here? Boom, knock him out of here.
Yeah, it's going to be super tough for Team Liquid to try and navigate this. Whenever Bradley goes for a slice and dice, you just get kind of stopped in your tracks. And Wildcard, I mean, this has been something that Keel has played in the past. We have seen Moose Hater have some games on it as well, just as you said, kind of plugging and playing different players. But they end up doing a very similar thing. Now, Wildcard, again, has a ton of poke to leverage with the Vars and with the Jace. But Team Liquid didn't let him do it last time. They're definitely not going to let him do it this time.
Not at all. And looking at how this draft is, it feels like we have kind of similar identities where we look at Team Liquid Challengers, a lot of early game pressure that they can put on, especially when they get those first item spikes for a lot of their players. While on the other side, you can really create a lot of space, a lot of poke there from Saligo and Lens, then the space-making tools of an Alistar, Poppy, Maokai trio.
I gotta say, right, as powerful as Static Shiv is, I do wonder if that was the route to go for Lens this game, right? I feel like leveraging the amount of range that Varus has by going like a lethality build might actually be more useful here because of how much damage you can output. And I feel like APA, with just the extra little bit of damage that'll come through from the Static Shiv, will be blowing up Lens kind of regardless. So you got to get out the damage that you can while you have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. And even though it is what you've been seeing a lot of Vars go for that AP.
It's
Vars
still
build.
good.
It's the standard, but it just Lethality still good. It's still a good option. Really works well here into this composition, but it still does have a lot of power here with that wave clear, and that is going to be a big thing that Team Liquid will struggle with two Static Shivs on the side of Team Liquid Challengers. They can clear that out well, but you also have two players that can clear that out just as efficiently in both Saligo and Lens.
So as we start lining up, we did notice that there was a very inventive play coming through from Keel in his route last game. I guess maybe inventive is, too strong of a word.
That's an Ivern gameplay.
Yep, as they go through it. I love this from Saligo, just getting a ton of damage down, and APA just trading back with auto attacks until Saligo's like, haha, I can do that too.
You could have confused me there, Josh. I thought both of them had corrupting pots with how they were playing.
Yeah, and now they're out of their potions at this point, right? They both have to chug all of them, playing a really low health lane. That really favors whichever jungler is more likely to come into the mid lane first. And Mir, on this Wukong, has a lot of tools to be aggressive and find kills by themselves, but Keel has easier ganks to go for, especially if you just flash W any target.
Looking at this mid lane, very volatile at the moment. Turn on its head at any moment. I think even without jungler intervention, bot lane, the level 2 priority, or what we expected with Arrow and Kim down as we did not watch that. We didn't see that.
Now, I do have a rant, actually. I think that Jace is drastically overestimating at level 2 how much damage the acceleration get does. Because it does like 30% increase, but your base is so low early on in the game that you don't actually do a lot of damage. You use a lot of mana.
Chain's connecting. I talked about this. It's volatile in the mid lane, but Keel was there to scare away APA, and guess who gets dragged back in, but the flash dodge away from the blast, and now it's Mir's turn to re-engage and pick up first blood, and Keel, he's gonna limp away.
And the fact that Soligo loses the flash as well is huge. He's going to be able to teleport to get most of this wave, but it is Team Liquid who come out with this early game lead, going right on over to Mir. Wildcard did such a good job at preventing Mir from having opportunities early in the game, in the first game of the series, but now this monkey is already ready to go.
That was one of those fights that was a knife's edge for both sides. It could go either way, just if one person missteps or doesn't flash out and they react in time. APA reacting perfectly in time to dodge away from the shock blast of Soligo and giving enough time for Mir to show up in mid lane, get the kill onto Soligo, and like you said, now the monkey is going to be accelerated in this game.
Already looking at anything towards the bottom half of the map. We get a little bit more trading as we get to see that Kimdown actually doing a pretty good job with the plays going up against Dombre to make him uncomfortable in the way that he can move around the map. But so far, Team Liquid are doing a surprisingly good job in every position at creating leads, right? APA walking back lane with only an assist is not as much as he might have hoped, but still, he knows he's already putting this Jason in a position where they are a little bit behind in the game.
It feels like Team Liquid have to keep playing with this kind of pressure as well because they are a team that do have good spikes at those first items. Especially, like, it's weird to say LeBlanc spikes well with Static Shiv, but the wave clear you get from that just is so good that you can then roam around the map and impact so much. But Bradley, nice trade there onto Zamudo, but Zamudo picking up the buckler makes it so that Bradley doesn't want to continue the fight.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of damage coming through from both of them, and Bradley doing a pretty good job already at making sure that they can out-farm Zamudo. This has been something that a lot of our more veteran players in particular have been good at, is limiting Zamudo's ability to farm. Zamudo has been fantastic at understanding how to do all the small combos on a variety of different champions, in particular the Gragas. But we are still seeing that players like Fake God and now like Bradley are kind of navigating some of these laning phases a little bit better, and that can put Wildcard in a really tough position.
Kimdown just kind of getting these poked down onto Lens. Donbray getting the double stuns, but not going to really do too much. Meaning that Lens and Donbray can leave that lane, go help out Keel, take this first dragon of the game. This is something that we also didn't really get to cover, that Wildcard tend to do really well. They have really good early objective control. And that's something that kind of carries them into those late game fights, right? When we look at how they're able to play, it's because they're able to slow down the pace of the game, get themselves some of these early dragons, so that way they get those power spikes later on.
Yeah, it also is worth noting, right, that by getting this first dragon, it stops some of the game plan that Team Liquid had last game just to rush for the Elder Dragon, because now...
Bradley, though, has dominance. So even if you pick up the buckler there as Zamudo, you always got to be wary that the Croc can get Mega, become a Kaiju in this top lane to fight you, and then you can punt him away. So it's kind of one of those things where it's just going to be alt for alt trade. But unfortunately, as Zamudo is falling behind Bradley, it'd be the benefactor of each one of these little skirmishes.
Yeah, I mean, it does have built-in sustain. You see Zamudo is chugging on those potions.
A little late on the slice and dice there. Gonna be able to get the knockback in, the flash there, but the flash in from Bradley picks up the solo kill on Zamudo.
Let's go, Bradley coming through, and just seems like they're outplaying Zamudo in this side lane, right? We got to see a lot of pressure coming through from Bradley in game 1 for the beginning of the game, even though it was not as far ahead as we had hoped. Now, on the Renekton, doing a good job limiting anything that Zamudo will be able to do, and this is what we need to see from Team Liquid. They need to come out with leads early on in the game, because they're the ones who need to make things happen. Otherwise, they're going to get poked out by Wildcard later on, and finding these leads already will allow them easier access to try and find these flanks, because APA and Bradley will be harder to deal with in the sides.
Top lane's self-sufficient here for the Crocodile. Mid lane had a little bit of help from Mir. So it's going to be bot lane that we have to turn our attention to next. See how that can do for Team Liquid Challengers as Wildcard do seem like they are constantly shoving back Arrow and Kim down, trying to make sure they can't leave this lane too easily.
Yeah. Which is good, right? As long as Arrow and Kim down are a little bit corralled, it's harder for them to move up for the Rift Herald. We saw we had a full 10-man fight in game 1. Now neither side going to be proactively moving towards the top half, and it is Wildcard with way more vision over in that part of the map. I'm a bit surprised Team Liquid aren't the ones already setting up for the fight, because it has been their bread and butter for multiple seasons.
It feels like right now, with how far ahead Bradley is in this matchup, 20 CS up, a level advantage over Zamudo as well. They don't really need to send up Arrow and Kim down like they did in the previous game. They already have that priority top lane. Mid lane has pretty much been neutralized between the two as well. They're not really in too much threat from Wildcard unless Wildcard's bot lane goes missing.
Yeah, and we made the claim earlier, right? Just having Renekton on your team kind of wins you the Rift Herald fight no matter what. As soon as Bradley has his ult close to off gold, and he moves down to help out Mir with the Rift Herald, and they do grab it for themselves. Now, Team Liquid are a team where in this game they really want to open up the map as effectively as possible. The best way to do that is by taking the mid lane, busting that one open so that APA can feel free to move around the map. But so far, they don't need to open it up just quite yet. They are already just walking into their opponent's side of the jungle.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of feeling free on the map right now, Mir feeling really free, but not bot lane. The chains were on Kim down to pick up an easy kill. And that's the one lane that is winning for Wildcard, is this bot lane.
Yeah, finding that kill and taking down Kim down also threatens Arrow.
Flash in. You can't get away from that one. That's a lot used with the cleanse as well. They have a lot of chase down potential. It's AP bars, but the punt doesn't matter because they still pick up the kill.
Great stuff coming up from a Wildcard bottom lane, taking down both members and denying waves and picking up extra plates. Wildcard, great punish here for Kim down. Still only level 5, walks up a bit too early to try and pick up the cannon minion, and this has been one of the big opportunities for Wildcard. They just layer the crowd control. He can't even flash. They take him down very quickly. And Arrow trying to get away from the Ghost. There is not enough tools available as Len's just able to run them down. I was a little bit worried here with the auto attack coming through, or the headbutt coming through, but Len's landing the Q anyway. Finds him 2 kills.
Not quite max range, but like medium range. Is able to get that as mid lane. Ligo gets a lot of damage back onto APA. Him down. Maybe a little too aggressive there with APA, thinking they could turn that onto Saligo.
But ultimately, they still get the wave in, and it will buy APA an opportunity to back, and I believe that should be enough gold for them to have the static shiv on the return, but not being allowed to do so just yet.
If they can recall. Yeah, if they can recall, because Saligo doing a good job there, making sure that this LeBlanc is not going to base too easily. That will be a wave that has to be grabbed there by APA, so he's not forfeiting too much gold and experience.
Yeah, and he has to be very careful as well. There you see him trying to do something, but the shock blast, he gets hit by one of them that could be his life, but does manage to get away from that one. Will finally have an opportunity to recall. And Team Liquid not yet setting up for this upcoming Dragon that is currently the purview of Wildcard if they want to go for it. They're still in a spot where they do not yet have the power to just leverage the crazy range advantage. And one of the things that Team Liquid have this game that they didn't last game is in Ezreal. They can actually contest a lot of the ranged poke that Wildcard has for more of the game than they did in game 1.
That is true. Gives them a little bit more options, as well as not having to deal with the double support as it is when you have an Ivern on your team. And all those shields, and then Daisy, a 6th man on the team. But the CP from Saligo, they're looking to contest this Dragon, get themselves 2 Dragons already. And it's going to be a TP from Bradley as well. We're having a rumble here yet again. All 5 outside of Zamudo, because Zamudo doesn't have that TP available, and because that is the case, that means that Team Liquid Challengers will grab themselves their first Dragon.
It's going to be at least a play going over to Zamudo for the Dragon, though, so it's not all lost, but Bradley is going to be forcing that one out, and that means that in about a minute, Zamudo will have an uncontested teleport window of 3 minutes to try and move around the map. And again, because it comes online at 10 minutes instead of 14. Oh.
Saligo, no flash, does knock back Mir. Got a lot of damage onto APA, so APA was not in a position to follow up the monkey for that dive.
Yeah, very ambitious coming through from Mir. That's not something we oftentimes say, because he is usually pretty calm and collected about the ways he goes for these plays, but
it could also be that he was kind of helping crash that wave so they could rotate top lane to drop this Rift Herald. There's an argument that could be...
Flash.
Yeah, I think so too. It was a hard commit there. and then the wave's still kind of neutralized by Saligo anyways, right? It's one of those things you're like, maybe could have held on to that. Either way, they are going to get this crash into the top lane. There's going to be a lot of gold picked up by Bradley. Heal, he's here, but there is still dominance available for Bradley, but took a lot of damage and using that to try to survive, and he's pushed back so much to try to keep him under the turret. The turret almost gets him, but Bradley healing up. APA in time to save the top laner. Oh no, they look good. Bradley, the crocodile, will die, but it was still the turnaround from Team Liquid, and now Mir, a lot of time to get into the top lane to try to help out pick up more, as right now it is a 1-for-1 purely top laners.
Wow, I mean, as both top laners go down, Bradley staying really long, trying to pick up that extra plate. Not necessarily going to be rewarded for it, but as we take a look at it, right, everybody is already moving towards the top side. Heal is already in the area, and I love the response coming through from APA and Mir. As soon as they see this gate going through, they're like, oh, we are leaving these wolves, we are marching towards the top side of the map in order to try and make sure that we can keep our top laner alive. And as they move up, APA coming in, trying to make sure they can finish off Zamudo. I don't even know if Bradley's damage is necessary, and he only goes in for a little bit of that chaos play, right? Trying to find the little next bit.
It feels like they've decided to handshake who's chaos in each game. Last game, it was Bradley being order, Zamudo being chaos. This time, it's Zamudo being the order, Bradley being the chaos. And even though he does fall, still comes back into lane with that mythic completed, while Zamudo is struggling to deal with Grenected in the top lane.
Yeah. We'll see what it is that they can do, because as this turret goes down, there's going to be more and more money getting fed over to Bradley in this top half of the map. And, I mean, Renekton stays strong for quite a while in a lot of these fights, especially when you get to your item completion faster. So, as we start turning our attention to the bottom half of the map, we do have a dragon spawning relatively soon, in about 2 minutes. Rifthold is spawning now. And Team Liquid are here first. There's not enough poke to get them off yet.
But look at Wildcard. They still have all their members nearby enough to potentially fight. Even Zamudo is not too far off, but the only problem is going to be that he doesn't have that Keeper's Verdict to punt one member of Team Liquid Challengers out of there to make it a disadvantageous fight for Team Liquid. So they decided they want to back off. They don't want to actually go for this one. Instead, they're just going to wait it out, try to see if they can find any of these members. Maybe a little bit of a fight. Okay. APA, Dawnbray, a bit too far out. Might be forced to use Unbreakable Will. Oh no, Keel went really far for that one with Nature's Grasp as well. The TP is there. The Magnus Orb locking 3 members down, but they got the kill on Arel. And look at APA on the other side. Bradley as well, diving into the back line of Wildcard. APA is going wild. They've got everything they need with the flashes from Wildcard to survive, but they cannot escape from the Croc, hunting down these targets, making sure there is no retreat for Zamudo as APA is on a rampage.
Wow, Team Liquid just able to take everything down. They lose Kim down in the fight, only gets 1 assist, but they get everything they came for. They get the Rift Herald, they get 4 kills. Looks like we're going to be jumping into a bit of a pause after that one, but Team Liquid, I mean, we were saying that they needed to be the ones who were getting the fights started on their terms. They need to be the ones who had to be inventive. It feels as though Wildcard, for being so good at declining fights in Game 1, are the ones that start this one up. We see that Team Liquid try and push them forward, and then Wildcard like, oh, Kim down. Let's go ahead and kill the tank real quick. Let's blow all of our cooldowns on the support, and then Team Liquid are like, yeah, sure, thank you.
You're like, oh, all right, you use all that to try to kill Rel? Really?
Nice.
That's not the person you want to focus on. You want to focus on APA on the side. We saw how he was able to flank that with Bradley as well, slicing and dicing his way into the back line, creating that chaos together. We can actually, I believe we have a replay, so we can kind of look at this play so we can really dissect it a little bit more as we figure out exactly what is going on with the in-game pause. Because right now we don't know exactly what is happening, but we do want to make sure that we're talking about what's going on in the game. So, Josh, looking at this fight, like you said, they blow everything on getting this kill onto Kim down. And that means, not at this moment, once we get to later on, they're forgetting about Bradley and APA.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that makes Arrow so good and so rough to watch is that he plays super far forward. As Wildcard try and turn on him, Arrow uses the Arcane Shift out, and unfortunately it puts Bradley in the position where he is in the middle of the entire enemy team. He heals up so much with the Gore Drinker. He's just constantly getting the ultimate down, so there's just not a whole lot for Wildcard to do because of all the spells that they use on the Rel right away. So all the damage dealer is completely untouched during the course of this fight, and able to pick up 4 members in exchange for their support.
And APA as well, playing the side, looking for those angles on this LeBlanc. Very different style than that Cassiopeia that we saw previously, who wants more of that traditional front to back. And this is something that we've always praised with APA, the varied styles that he has, where he has those unique champion pools, like the Cassiopeia, Ziggs, the old Aurelion Soul. He still knows how to play the very meta styles and shows off all these different styles that he can play efficiently.
Yeah, he's a very smart player too, right? That's one of the things that has helped Team Liquid out quite a bit, is both APA and Mir have generally shown that they can be both the cerebral style player and the mechanical style player, depending on what it is that their team needs at the moment. And so far, I mean, Team Liquid, they are in firm control of this upcoming game. They are in firm control of this entire series. And again, it kind of baffles me, right? When you compare how well Team Liquid are playing now to their flubs they had up against Team Fish Talker, right? It feels as though the way to beat this team is you shut down their early plays by Mir and APA early on in the game, and then you can play the rest of the game with an advantage. But Wildcard not able to do that here.
All right, so I see PC problem. I don't know exactly what that means because there's a lot of parts in a PC. I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of parts. Apparently, it's a PC crash. So
I didn't know
again,
that PCs could drive.
Yeah, neither did I. Like, I guess like have to get a license somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is
either
artificial intelligence, so maybe, you know, it's just what act as the hands then?
I don't know. We can act as the hands as we start looking at this game again. Like, I have been very impressed with Wildcard. I actually felt that throughout the course of the season, or the series rather, they were set up for success with both of their drafts. And for game number 1, the way that they were playing was exactly the way I want to see their composition play. I just feel as though they have a very similar composition here, and they, for lack of a better word, panicked earlier than they needed to. They started looking for these fights around the Rift Heralds before they had all their items online, before Wizard Varus was just blowing people up, casting Fireball on everybody, and before Jace was able to do the same thing from across the Rift. This is not when the composition is strong just quite yet, but they felt like they needed to fight Team Liquid early.
Arrows, not fireballs.
Fire arrows.
They're not fire arrows. They're like
arrows of death.
Yeah,
fireballs.
Yes.
Power word. Kill? I don't remember. It's been a while since I played 5e.
Okay. Well, there we go. We don't have to delay anymore. We get back into this game. PC has finally figured out how to drive. He's got it uncrashed.
Yeah.
Back onto the Rift right now. That is quite a swing there for Team Liquid Challengers. TLC has swung the game where it was about, I'd say about 1,000 gold that was favoring him. Now 3,000.
And that's a lot of money coming through. Real quick though, Eric, I know you're a 5e nerd. Is it power word death? Like, put that in the chat so I can read it later on. But Wildcard, as they're coming back into this one, huh?
Product?
No, there's a 5e spell. Yeah, it's power word something. There's a couple of power words, for sure. But anyway, as we get back into it, Team Liquid, 10 seconds left before this dragon actually spawns. This is Wildcard's bread and butter. They are all here first. They are ready to go. They have been so good at stopping a lot of teams. They have a very static setup, which is, again, very good for Wildcard because they have this Maokai here to control a lot of different setups. But Team Liquid, they play so fluid, right? This is not a front-to-back style that Team Liquid are going for. They're trying to control every single entrance at the same time.
Might be static on how Wildcard plays, but it's more static Shiv when you look at how TL is at the moment, because they got the close, they got the plays on the side. That's going to be the engage from Mir into the backline. He did a lot of damage. Bye-bye! Hello, you're gone out of there. And that's down so low, they can smite secure that Keel's on top of it. But Mir wants to get back in the fight. And how do you get out of this one, Wildcard? You gain the dragon, but what for? Just to feed APA some more gold and kills? I don't think it's worth it at that point, because they get the root on the Dawnbreak, and they'll clean up all 5 members of Wildcard.
Wow, what an engage coming out from Mir as well. He even hunts down Lens between the turrets in the mid lane. Team Liquid, the dynamics that they play with, their ability to see all the different angles is insane. Watch how Mir goes over this wall and dives between all the members of Wildcard super quickly. Dawnbreak, Keel,
So
all of the bouncers not in a position to react, and Lens is already too low to even try and go for these fights. Yes, Wildcard are able to get the dragon, but they're taking the rest of the fight in a 4v5. And Mir's like, yeah, you guys got that right. I'm going to go run up and deal with bars on the other side. And guess what? Team Liquid, yeah, they did have that. They were able to pick up every single member in exchange for this dragon and give over none.
Well, and you look at that fight, too. Every single member of TLC hold their weight. Because Mir starting it off beautifully, right? But then Kim down re-engaging afterwards to make sure they can continue that fight after the dragon's taken and delay long enough for Mir and Bradley to come back into the fight.
The biggest thing I can say that I love watching from Team Liquid is, or excuse me, from Wildcard, is when they make a decision, they commit to it, right? They're like, oh, quick, Mir and Bradley are in the fight, burn the dragon, burn, 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 hit, 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 and they were all doing that.
Yep.
But Team Liquid can just play with a little bit more nuance than most other teams, and now they're trying to find APA.
Look at Zamudo taking a lot of damage for it as well, and Mir is on the other side, but Keel doing the best he can to defend the top laners. Keeper Verdict scaring away the members of TLC. They don't really care that much. They're to try to corral Wildcard at this point. They've got mid pushing, even Mir scaring off some of the members of Wildcard and delaying them from actually getting on top of this turret. Oh, it will stand, but only just.
For now, and look at what's happening in the top lane, right? They leave APA up in the top side to also be hitting this, using the static shiv on the waves to clear up everything as they move. And Team Liquid, even though they haven't gotten either structure just quite yet, they are controlling the space and pulling Wildcard around in ways that Wildcard is supposed to be the one trying to play this a little bit loose, a little bit more chaotic, but Team Liquid are the ones who are consistently controlling the macro of the map.
That's been the trait of TLC since the beginning of 2022 when they got the 2 chains, even going into spring with a new team as Arrow was able to cleanse away from Keel. Keel still chasing this one. Looks like him down saying, all right, you're dead, but what happens afterwards? Can we start the fight into the back line? We've got Arrow here and the Magnet Storm on Saligo. Cleanses away with the flash in from Bradley, sinking the teeth into the ADC of Wildcard. And even though you killed the pony, what happens is you gotta be careful with Keel on one side, and you got Mir, as powerful as he is. They dash on top of him, doesn't have ult, but all the while, APA was just taking the turret so that Mir and even Bradley, just the 2v3 in the mid lane, can scare Wildcard so they cannot go and give reinforcements in the top lane, and he just can't fight against Mir. He's got so much damage. There's Saligo still surviving. He's alive, trying to get away from Mir, but Mir wants to re-engage on to Dawnbray, getting a lot of damage, and the poke from Saligo not going to connect, but Wildcard do get some plays and some gold back, but wait, was that a stipe?
Yeah, he sniped him as he reset. Oh no! Arrow picking up an extra kill on the backside. We have a minute left to kill the next dragon, but this is, I feel like, super typical for the way that Team Liquid is trying to develop themselves. They are constantly pushing. It's like, I am 60% sure that this is a good play, and they go for it. Now they're going to be picking up some Mudo before the dragon actually spawns. He will be alive in time to come back, but Team Liquid constantly playing on the edge of what is possible, and it leaves them in situations where they look fantastic, right? They were playing on the edge earlier, but this time they get a couple of their members caught out. APA so focused on trying to get the last bits of damage on the top lane turret that he ends up dying in the long chase going up against Zamudo. And then after that, going for the rest of the fight, I mean, that's Team Liquid saying, I think we are good enough to go for this. Now let's go for the Baron.
They have the advantage. Poke onto Mir, chunks him down to 50%. Saligo gotta land another one of those accelerated shock blasts onto Mir to get them off of that Baron. They are committing. Chain of Corruption's not gonna connect. It was blind. They had no idea. The chains on Saligo also not gonna lock him in place. It's down below 50. You're trying to fight. That's Zamudo. He's got the TPN. Look at how low APA got in the fight, so he cannot join Bradley on the other side. And Zamudo wants to punt away somebody, but looking for the kills instead, because Lens has picked up a double kill. Team Liquid get bit off more than you can chew.
I mean, that was a big fight. They're trying to go for this Baron the entire time, and Wildcard just need to wait until the Baron gets low. APA,
another shock blast to the face. That's just going to be Arrow getting Zamudo. Gotta get the lockdown there from APA, but it's the tank that you're focused on. And Wildcard, I don't know how they do this. They always pull off these miracles. They pick up the Turo Baron buff after play where it looked like it should have been CLCs.
I don't know. I mean, in theory, like, if you just look at the gold lead, yeah, TLC were doing it, but that was one of the weirdest setups I think I've seen from Team Liquid, right? And it's mostly just the amount of damage they choose to take actually going for this fight. There is no way for them to force Wildcard off of this part of the map, and as all the members come through, yeah, Bradley gets around the back, but him down goes early, only catching Donbray. And APA, Bradley, they take way too much damage. Mirror's taken way too much damage before the fight even starts. And it's kind of a miracle that as many members of Team Liquid actually survive this fight as they do. And so as Wildcard find themselves their third Dragon of the game, probably, we're setting themselves up for a fantastic position with the Ocean Dragon.
Here has that blast cone. Good go for the YOLO steal. Dead pass present from Zamudo.
Oh,
Mir
geez.
gets it, denying the soul point potential.
And up in the top side, I mean, we are seeing the APA pushing things. Arrow gets the mid lane turret as well, rebuilding the gold lead that they had lost.
Getting themselves a lot there. And all right, you know what? We made a mistake around the Baron, but it's okay. We still have the leads. We have the pressure in side lanes. The mobility that we have can run around Wildcard for days.
Yeah, and Team Liquid, I mean, they're still in a position of power. Stopping the threat of the Ocean Soul is absolutely helping out Team Liquid's chances in this game. They're constantly looking for different angles to find themselves onto Wildcard, and Keel going to have to X-Flash his way out of this one. Bradley finding Zamudo.
Not going to be as easy this time for Bradley, though. Zamudo does have the Thorn Mails completed. Bradley kind of realizing that as well. Doesn't have that kill threat on it to Zamudo, especially because that's not just your typical tank Poppy build either, right? It's the Divine Tsundere tank build for Poppy.
Yeah, and that's going to be doing quite a bit of damage. We're seeing that with just like a straight health build from Bradley in terms of his defenses. It will be punching through all of the lack of resistances that Bradley has built up. So, Team Liquid feels a little bit like a flip of what we were seeing from before, right? In game one, Wildcard had an uncontested, or very difficult to contest split pusher in Zamudo's Fiora until APA was strong enough to do it. Now, Team Liquid have the nearly uncontestable split pusher in APA's LeBlanc. And Wildcard, every time they send somebody to try and deal with APA, they are going to be down an extra person because of how quickly APA can move around the map.
And if you don't deal with it, then he takes a turret. He takes the bases. It's really brutal. With that Lich Bane completed for APA as well, those turrets, they're pretty much in two-shot range even if they're full health.
Here we go, Zamudo walking on in.
Zamudo,
Should be okay.
he'll be fine. He's got backup on the other side. APA will take the blast gun and then Distortion back just to say, hey, I'm still here. You thought I was gone.
Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised that Team Liquid are committing this many members towards the bottom half of the map, right? They have Teleport from APA. He's really tough to contest in the split push. And now, okay, there's dropping Bradley from the bottom side and leaving APA alone. That makes a little bit more sense because Bradley really needs to be in positions to fight relatively early on, but there's no objectives to play for down here. They're just consistently asking questions.
Wildcard. Mir had no idea. Wrong monkey, though. You poured all that damage onto the wrong monkey, and he goes golden. But with the TP there, it will be the right monkey, and it shuts down for Keel.
What does Team Liquid get in exchange for Mirror's life? Currently, it is the bottom lane structure. That is a gold positive trade for the members of Team Liquid. And I mean, Wildcard are kind of put in these positions where they have to be really aggressive. They have the poke now from Saligo. It's on 3 items, but he actually needs to be able to force Team Liquid to line up. And Saligo has been so good at preventing flanks. We haven't necessarily seen the same kind of control over these siege situations that has earned Wildcard wins in the past.
With the gold being as close as it is, the Baron buff expiring on Team Liquid as well. Kind of looking at how on Team Liquid. What am I saying?
On Wildcard.
Wildcard. Looking at how you're gonna play for the next one. Got 1:30 for both Dragon and a Baron, but neither soul for either team. If they want to go for that, they have to know for a fact that it's not gonna be the Baron start immediately by the other. Both teams are playing kind of passively at the moment, not even getting full vision control of the other.
It's really tough, right? Because Team Liquid don't necessarily want to take just like the straight up fight most of the time. Instead, they really want to be pushing and prodding, right? APA with the Lich Bane, with the Static Shiv, has a lot of control over the side lane. but doesn't have the head necessary to actually deal with Zamudo. Zamudo is actually able to withstand a lot of the poking and prodding that APA can do. So Team Liquid, you know, as they play this style of game, they can really get, you know, bits of damage here, bits of damage there, in ways that Wildcard have not been able to demonstrate that they can react to.
Right now, APA is still putting a lot of pressure onto the structure, has it down below 1 threshold. I believe that was just a couple minions and an auto attack onto that. They do a lot of damage to that unless Zamudo is on point. As using the ult from Arrow just to hold the wave a little bit, because we are getting to that point 20 seconds away until Baron spawns.
Yeah, and APA is starting to run low on mana, right? The Night Harvester build does not have a whole lot of just mana reserves to allow you to stay off in the side lanes. It is a much more blue buff reliant style of playing this champion. Instead of the Baron, both teams a bit more focused on trying to play towards the Dragon. Team Liquid very late to this play.
It looks like Wildcard wanted to play around Zamudo and APA just in case. That way they don't have to worry about the base falling apart. Mir, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Not going to get into the pit this time.
An uncontested Dragon coming out from Wildcard, right? And oftentimes Team Liquid has been very aggressive at trying to play around these objectives. But Bradley looking to get caught out again. The squad is coming.
They spotted him out. Is a slippery croc, though. You don't know, and he's going for the SOAS TP away. They have no idea, and he's out of there.
He's out, and what happens on the rest of the map, right? APA now in the bottom lane, getting close to impacting the structure again, but Team Liquid not able to get any structures off of the Dragon just quite yet. It looks like they might get... Alright, that's not as much as I was expecting, but still, decent chunk trying to find the next part of the turret, and now goes beneath the 3rd threshold. Ho ho!
There you go.
There it is.
That's the power. That's the power of that Lich Bane LeBlanc on a side lane with the static shiv. You can take those so quickly, even right from underneath the nose of Zamudo.
It's that little bit of extra damage every single time that adds up, right? APA is still looking to look for these opportunities. I believe the last time we saw a LeBlanc just like opening up the base entirely in Challengers League, I think it was actually Saliga who was playing it, right? Consistently asking questions of how you are going to be dealing with it.
It's funny you say Saliga. I was thinking Harry. I was thinking, you know,
well, he's not in Challengers League.
That was Academy, but I'm just saying, I was like, I think of like a LeBlanc opening up a base in the Academy / Challengers.
It happened last week. I think it was Saliga.
Remember, I wasn't here.
Yeah, nerd. Can't believe you're doing something else, but now Team Liquid, they have to be very fluid with the way they're trying to play this game. APA hasn't picked up the blue buff just quite yet, but has gotten a recall off, and Wildcard, they're setting up for the Baron.
And Josh, we've seen Wildcard in this position, the team fights. This is what we praised them for so many times. How they're able to pilot this into even the best teams as Team Liquid Challengers. They were able to beat him once, but on this call onto the Baron.
Lens.
Look at Mir, bounced around. Lens was nearly taken down. The Baron solo.
The knockup.
Who's gonna get it? It's gonna go over to Keel, but can they all survive? It looks like they're all gonna get sliced down, and it's shut down goals aplenty for Team Liquid Challenger. Only Zamudo having the purple cap on his head, and he's getting chased down by the Pony Rider. Him down does not want to let him back because they want to try to end the game.
Yeah, the synergy coming out between the jungler and the mid laner, and now the top laner too of Team Liquid has been ridiculous to try and watch. They're going to be taking down this top lane inhibitor. They're going to be taking down everything here, and this should be a 2-0 for Team Liquid.
Yeah, Zamudo wants to back, but Kim down did everything to make sure he couldn't, and now Zamudo inside of the base. The Valiant defense at your Nexus turret is too little, too late. Team Liquid Challengers, your #1 team of the Challengers League, take down Wildcard 2-0.
Honestly, really impressive stuff coming out from Team Liquid, because this felt like Wildcard getting most of the things they could ask for. But the things that we really were looking for, right, was one, APA and Mir working together. Second thing was whether or not Bradley was going to be able to handle someone like Zamudo, and he did so in style. There was never really a question as to who was in control of the top side of the map. Feels like Team Liquid just came out on top in a number of different ways that are all very Team Liquid.
Yeah, it feels very Team Liquid, even though that last fight right there felt like they were playing into Wildcard's hands for a moment, but just for a fleeting moment, because the Wildcard team, they got the Baron, but then what happened afterwards? They were so far behind, they didn't have the position to get out of the Baron to actually make that worthwhile, so they fall to Team Liquid Challengers, who right now We already pegged them as being one of our strongest teams in the Challengers League at the beginning of the season, and they look uncontested in that regard.
3 games up on second place, right? FlyQuest 9-5, looking good, but Team Liquid setting a new bar for themselves.
Yeah, and I hear that we are getting ready for our interview. We have Tim down on the line, so don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with an interview.
Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challengers. I am joined with Kim Down from the victorious Team Liquid Honda Challengers. How you doing, brother? You having a phenomenal season so far.
Doing pretty good. I'm so happy with what we did as a team. I'm looking forward for the playoff already.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. We're at the end of the first half of the round robin. You're like, nah, never mind the second half of the round robin. Let's get to playoffs. Let's start with the patch. First of all, the cycle is over. You can take a deep breath. It's no longer Yuumi, Milio, Lulu, Yuumi, Milio, Lulu. Support meta was stagnant last patch. Now we're seeing you on stuff like Rao. How are you liking the changes?
Definitely I have like more proactive things to do now instead of like just sitting behind the teammate, just giving buff and getting vision together. I think it's definitely more engaging than before, but
Quite literally, right?
I do think it still needs some like things to work on as engaged support, and I think that will come down to like next couple weeks practicing.
In game 2, it was going pretty well until around 22 minutes. You guys had a blunder around the Baron. Mistakes happen, but you guys at Team Liquid always take them in your stride. How do you process moments like that to recover and ultimately take the dub?
So we were trying to problem solve during the game, and we found out that like we just have to full send, like do everything to kill their backlines, and Mir got a really good flank on Varus, and I think that's how we won the Baron fight.
Do comms stay rather clear and concise even in moments like that?
I think the comms were very energetic, like everyone was very involved, like they wanted to like try their best to like give information and how we should fight. It was fantastic.
Who's the loudest when you guys do win a team fight? Is it Arrow?
I think it was mostly Arrow and Mir, what I believe. Because Mir got a really good flank, and like he knows that no one spotted him, and he somehow got onto Varus, and
Gotta have those pop-off moments. So it is your second split here in Challengers. I want to know, what was your focus coming into spring, and how has that changed in summer?
so during spring split, I think for me, I just wanted to improve, and also as a team, like we want to like try to be more like on the same page for the spring split. And for summer split, I think we are still working on that, but also like we want to like prove to everyone that we are the best team in the league, and at the end, like our goal is to win everything, so that's what we are working for.
You're on pace for it. You're already outpacing your last splits record, so you're on pace for it, man. Now, you guys have a bit of privilege as you're one of the 3 LCS or Challenger teams that did stick around. And you guys are together in Los Angeles, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what is it like having that in-person environment? What does it do for the squad?
Just really nice to see everyone just practicing together, and like just being there is just so much better than like just doing it through online, for sure. Just eating together, having a break together, also like reviewing together. It's all
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Now, let's start wrapping this up. I do want to bring it to a topic I personally want to talk about. A long time ago, you let me know that you play classical guitar. So I want to know, what is your personal favorite piece to play?
My personal favorite piece, I haven't touched my guitar for a while. I think it is still the same one that I talked to you about. I think it's called Twilight by Kotaro
Yeah.
Shield. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
It's still my favorite song to play.
Still gotta look up that song, man, because you know what? I live in LA as well. Do you ever want to get together for a jam session? You know, we could shoot some content, both of us with guitars. I got 10 guitars, my brother.
Oh. I'm down to yeah, maybe grab your guitar and play on. I'm happy to do it.
All right, Kim. I don't want to take any more of your time. So do you got any shout outs before we let you go?
Shout out to my teammates and my coach, and also Whipple for helping us out while we're being on. And shout out to my sponsors, Alienware, Monster, Honda, and Verizon. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the viewers who are watching our series. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim Down, for this interview, and best of luck on the rest of the week. We are going to take this moment now to throw it over to short break while we get ready for our final series of the day. It's going to be Cincinnati Fear versus AoE Gold. We'll catch you on the other side. The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car sharing marketplace. Find your drive.